Hey guys, so I have another kind of talking video and I hope you guys are liking these, and if you're not, let me know. um it's not a ranking, but it's kind of like telling you why I didn't purchase something. So Angelica Nikovist, I think is how you say her last name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. I really enjoy watching her content, and one video that she recently did is called 10 palettes I almost bought recently but then I didn't. um I thought that was a really cool idea for a video, so I'm gonna give her credit. She totally came up with it, but I want to do that too because there were some things I almost purchased and then I didn't. So let's talk about them, shall we? Um, so I'm going to Ulta and Sephora, and I'm looking at their recent palette launches, and I'll tell you why I didn't purchase something. So I'm gonna keep it at 10. So there's no particular order. We're just going to talk about them. So first and foremost, my favorite eyeshadow brand, Natasha Denona, came out with the pastel eyeshadow palette. Do you know why I didn't purchase this one? I'm not a colorful person. If you can't tell, I like neutral eyeshadow, and I wear neutrals all the time. Like all the time. And there are very few times in my life that I reach for a lot of color. If I do, it's more of a like subdued color, you know, like a neutral color. So yeah, when I saw that, I was like, no, I don't need that. I don't need it in my life. There's no reason for me to pick that up. Then the Sephora sale came around and I was like, oh, but maybe I do need that. Maybe because I love Natasha Denona, I need that. I need that palette. It's a midi palette, which are my favorite kind. They're the $65. Maybe I need that palette, you know? Maybe I'm missing out on life if I'm not getting the palette. So so I just kind of like talk myself into reasons of why I might need it. And so I actually put it in my cart. I wasn't purchasing, I was just kind of like getting myself ready for the sale. And I was like, I'm just gonna put it there and then I'll think about it. And so I did think about it. I was like, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it because I love Natasha Denona. Okay, I'm gonna just be a collector of palettes and I'm gonna get it. And then the more I thought about it, I saw other people reviewing it and they were loving it, but they also like colorful eyeshadow. And I'm not a colorful eyeshadow person. And I thought, why would I purchase something that I'm probably gonna use in a video one time and then I'm never gonna pick up again? Why would I do that? It is so ridiculous to spend $65 on something that I don't need. So that's my whole process. Like I was a no, and then a yeah, I need it. Absolutely gonna get it. Gonna wait for the sale, and I'm gonna get my 15, not 20. Sorry, I'm gonna get my 15% off because I'm only a VIB. And then I said no, I don't need it. I'm not going to. Will I never, ever, ever, ever? I don't know. Can't promise you never. I don't know what the future holds, but for now, I didn't because there's no reason for me to, because I don't need it. I just don't. There's no point. So that's the reason that I passed on the Natasha Denona Pastel Eyeshadow Palette. This next one, Neutral Lover's Dream, let me tell ya. The Too Faced Born This Way Sunset Stripped Eyeshadow Palette. Oh my goodness. I saw it. I saw some people use it. That looks so good. When I saw it, it's like a teaser, like this will be coming soon. I was like, I'm getting that. That is beautiful. I love it. It is actually the sister to the Born This Way, the Natural Nudes. And I was like, I have to have that palette. I need that palette in my life because it's the sister. So I need the sister to this palette, you know, and I barely use this palette now. Not that it's not a good palette. I just have a lot of neutrals. So there's all kinds of palettes that I'm using. I did use this not long ago though, actually. But like, why would I need, if I've got this palette, which is very similar to this next palette, which this next one is like a bit warmer, why would I need both of them? There's no need for eyeshadow ever really in my life, but why would I want both of them? But right now I'm thinking about needs, and needs, I didn't need it. So as much as this was nice, and I almost talked myself into, this is not my favorite Too Faced formula, I'm not gonna lie to you. This, I like the tin pans, the eyeshadow palettes from Too Faced better than this cardboard packaging. But I almost picked this up, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Well, not this, but the the new one, the Sunset Stripped. And I was like, I need it because, I mean, I need both, right? I have to have both. No, I don't have to have anything. It's $52 first and foremost. I don't need a $52 eyeshadow palette just because it's the sister to this one. So yeah, I just went ahead and passed. And I'm glad that I did, because why would I need it? Why was it such a dire, desperate need when I have hundreds, literally hundreds of, and I mean like single hundreds, of neutral eyeshadows in my collection? So there's no point in me having more, you know? So that's my thinking. This next one I almost talked myself into because it's limited edition. So I thought, oh, it's limited edition and I need it. I need it. I need it. And I'm a green fanatic. Like, I love green eyeshadow so very much. So the Urban Decay Wild Greens palette, I needed in my life. I thought it was just because I'm a green eyeshadow lover, I needed this palette. And then I saw some people using it and I was like, well, they talk about wild greens, but there's some greens in there, but it's more neutral. Like, where are the greens? So people talked about the quality and it was mixed reviews. Some people loved it, some people didn't. I was dead set on getting it in the beginning. It's $44 and I was like, yes, I need it in my life. Give it to me. I want it now. And I'm glad I watched some reviews and I just waited, because I didn't need this. Why would I have needed it in my collection? I don't. I absolutely don't. There's no reason that I would have needed this in my collection. So I'm glad that I just kind of took a breath and said, I don't need it. So, it's kind of a different packaging for Urban Decay, and it's obviously a lot more neutral eyeshadows, which I have tons of. And while there is some beautiful greens in there, I have some beautiful greens in my collection. I don't need more. And I do love green eyeshadow so very much. I love green eyeshadow. There are tons that I could show you right now, but I'm not going to. I just have fallen in love with green eyeshadow in the last few months, and because of that, I thought I needed the palette. And I'm so glad that I kind of took a breath and stepped back and just was like, okay, I don't need it. And to be quite honest, this is kind of like the palette that I stepped back from, and I was like, I don't need it. I'll be okay without it. And then it was like, wait a minute, I really need to think more consciously about my makeup purchases, because I've been purchasing a lot, quite a bit, and like, why? You know, because I have so much that I don't get to use that often because I have so much, and there's no point in that. So it kind of like spurred me to like take a break and just be like, wait a minute, I don't need as much. So this is the third palette. Is it the third one I was talking about? I think so. Yeah. The third palette that I decided I didn't need. As beautiful as I thought it was, I could definitely live without it. So I passed. Okay, so this isn't a eyeshadow palette, but it was kind of sold as a set, and so I was gonna get it. So it's the Elf and Duncan Dozen eyeshadow set. So there were three there were three of the 4-pan bite-size eyeshadows in this, and so it gave you 12 shadows. And they were, to me, these looked gorgeous. Like, I was looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, those look so beautiful. And even the swatches I thought were gorgeous. I thought it looked more neutral than anything, with a couple pops of color here and there. And I was like, yeah, I need that. I need it in my life. And I actually, like, I had it set. I was going to get the PR thing that they sold, and I was going to get the whole thing. And I forgot about it when it launched on Elf. I completely forgot about it till a few hours later, and then of course it was sold out. And then I thought, well, I'll just wait till it comes to Ulta and then I'll grab it. Well, I thought it was a different day for some reason and missed it completely on Ulta. So when I realized that, I was like, I wanted the whole thing. And why did I want the whole thing? Just because I did. There was no reason for it other than I just wanted it. So I'm glad I missed out on this one, on this launch particularly, because I didn't need any of this in my collection. I didn't have like a need for any of them. I have bite-sized eyeshadows right here in front of me. I don't reach for them all that often because I have so many eyeshadows. They're great quality. I think they're some of the best from the drugstore, but especially seeing reviews on this, because everybody and their mama put out a review, especially just recently. They've talked about how most of these have like a little bit of micro glitter in them. If they're like a matte, they have a bit of micro glitter. There's only like one true matte in the whole 4 or 3. I'm getting my numbers confused. And all the 3, there's only one true matte, and then the rest of the mattes have a little bit of glitter in them. I'm not a big fan of like matte shades like that. I'm not a huge fan, so I'm so glad. Even though it was only $16 for the 3, which is more pricey than their normal prices for their bite-size eyeshadows, I'm still so thankful that I just didn't get it, because it would have just sat here right in front of me and I wouldn't have used it. I wouldn't have reached for it, and it would have just gone to waste. And there's no point in buying makeup just to go to waste, even though that's what the makeup companies want you to do. So I'm glad that I just took a step back and I said, I don't need it. There's no point. And that was that. So that was eyeshadow palette number 4. Okay, number 5 that I almost bought and didn't was the Ofra Cosmetics Lotus eyeshadow palette. So I just saw this palette and I thought it looked so gorgeous. It was absolutely beautiful. It has some beautiful shades in there, and the one thing that I wanted it for is it has this like beautiful like grungy green in there that looks so gorgeous. And I was like, yes, I need that green. And so I wanted the whole palette for that green shade. That's what I wanted, is that green shade. It's a $39 palette. There are 12 shadows in there, and I've seen people use it and it looked gorgeous on them. They come out with gorgeous looks, and I was like, yep, I need it, I need it. And my main goal and focus was just the green shade. I needed that green shade because I'm obsessed with green, if I didn't say it already. And so I was like, yes, I'm gonna get it. And then I took a step back and I was like, wait a minute, I have a couple Ofra palettes and their eyeshadow formula, it's okay. Definitely not my favorite. Definitely not my favorite, but it's okay. And like, it's not one of those that I'm like, I need it because the quality of the formula is so amazing. I barely reach into my Ofra palettes, and it's because like the shades that I have, like I could get out of other palettes that I have in my collection, and there's just other ones that I would rather reach for before those. And I thought, why would I spend $39 on a palette that I'm really not going to reach for to get anything out of? Why would I do that? And so I stopped myself and I was like, I don't need it. For one green shade, I don't need to spend that $39, and I can stop myself. So I'm an eyeshadow junkie, and I'm working on my habit. So this is me working on it. But yeah, that was the reason that I decided not to get the Ofra Cosmetics Lotus eyeshadow palette. Now, I'm not telling you not to buy anything from Ofra. I'm just telling you it's not my favorite eyeshadow palette or quality of eyeshadow. Does not mean that it doesn't have quality. It just means it's not my favorite formula. So that's all I'm saying. Another eyeshadow palette that's a little bit more affordable that I thought about was the LA Girl Nudie Cutie palette. It's $15.99 and you get 16 shades, so that's a really like $1 a shade. That's amazing. I have an LA Girl palette and it's not the best quality ever. I wasn't blown away by the quality. Like, I hear a lot of people talk about their quality of their eyeshadows and be like, this is such a great eyeshadow formula. And yeah, for the drugstore it is pretty good, but I still wasn't like, wow, like I need more of these. Like, it was okay. I'm okay with having it in my collection, but it's not anything that blew me away. But I love the shades on this because it's a nude palette. It has some neutral shades, and I was like, yeah, I need that because it's so pretty. I saw some people using it and saw these glittery shades that they used, and I was like, absolutely, yes, give it to me, please. I didn't need it. I didn't need it because there was no point in getting something that I'm probably going to use one and done, you know? Like that LA Girl palette that I have, I think I might have used just the one time in the video I did, and that's it. I don't think I've reached for it again. And maybe once, one other time, but maximum I've used it twice since I bought it. Even though it's affordable, still, I've used it twice. Why would I reach for more. So again, it's not a horrible quality of eyeshadow or anything like that. It's just there's no draw to it for me, so why would I? Why would I? So I didn't. I said no. Just said no. And had my heart set on it, and then I just said no. And I'm glad that I did, because that was another palette in my collection I just didn't need to have just sitting there. So yes, I admit that there are palettes in my collection that just sit there and I don't need, and that I just kind of have just impulsively purchased over the years. And yeah, that's completely my fault that I've done that. But yeah, there was no point in it. No point. So what was that, number 6, I think? Pretty sure it was number 6. If I'm off on my count, that's okay. So this is not like a super new palette, but this came out, I think, for like holiday of 2021. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Starry Eyes to Hypnotize eyeshadow palette. Very beautiful. I love this palette. It is gorgeous. The shades in it just make me so excited for makeup in general. But there was this one little section in there, the reason that I wanted it, and it was the green section. The green section, and then the like little cooler tone black and gray section at the bottom. Farthest to the right, I guess, not bottom, but anyway, it just looks so beautiful, and I was like, I need that palette. I need that palette in my life. Please, let's just get it. Charlotte Tilbury, her eyeshadow formula is not my favorite. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not like, oh my gosh, I need that in my life and I have to have all of her eyeshadow palettes. It's a good formula, really good formula, but not my absolute favorite. I think it doesn't justify the price for me to purchase her eyeshadows. But this palette just looks so good, and I was like, I need that. I need it in my life. I totally fall prey to the hype of it all too. It's like you see people using it and they're like, oh, this is gorgeous and I love it and it's, you know, my new favorite. And of course, you know, I'm like, yeah, mine too. Let's get it. Yeah, I need that too in my life. So I'm very, I'm as influenced as anybody else, you know, like I really, really enjoy it. So I just thought I needed this palette, and I was so gung-ho to get it. And then I thought, why are you buying this just for the green eyeshadows again? I've had to stop myself quite a few times for green eyeshadow purchases that I just thought I needed. And then of course those 3 little shadows at the bottom, it's called the Seduce Glow. Like they have little 3 sections. There's 4 sections of 3 that you're like supposed to use those 3 for looks. You can use it however you want to, but that's just how she sets it up. And I was like, I just think I need it. I need it. No, I don't. I have one of her palettes like that. My friend purchased this one for me last holiday, and this one is the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. And there's one shade in here. See, like she does the Happy Glow, Love Glow, Dream Glow, and Seduce Glow. So they're like all, sorry, there's 3 sections, or 4 sections of 3. 3, 3, 3, and 3. So it was these 2 sections I thought I needed the whole palette for. I didn't. I could find those shades in my collection so easy. It's beautiful. I love it. And there is one shade in here. This one here, I think. Yeah, it's this one here. It likes to fall out on me. So that's why I like to handle with care. And I love it. I love this palette. I think it's gorgeous and beautiful. Stunning. I actually like the quads probably a little bit better. I like the quality of the quads a little more than I like this one. So I just didn't need it. I talked myself out of it, knowing that it just wasn't something that I was going to use all that often. As much as I love this one, I don't reach for it as much as I probably should, knowing how much it costs. And just, you know, I probably should really use this a lot more than I do. And I'm so grateful for it. Please don't take that as I'm not grateful, because I truly, truly am. I just don't use it as much as I should. So It's absolutely gorgeous though. I love the shades in here. Some of my favorite shades, neutrals, and so beautiful. So, so beautiful. I like to use this set of 3 and this set of 3 together, and I think they are so beautiful together. So yeah, love it. Was that 7? I'm losing track. I can lose track so easily. I'm pretty sure that was 7. So this is number 8. So I almost purchased the Pat McGrath and Bridgerton Belle of the Ball eyeshadow palette. It's the new second round of Bridgerton collab from Pat McGrath. And I just purchased it on hype alone because I love Bridgerton. I love the love story and everything. So I was just like, yes, give me the second collab. I wasn't even going to look at it. I was just like, yes, I need that, you know. And then I really looked at it, and I looked at the shadows in the second palette compared to the first, and I just so happened to have the first one here. just so happened. And so I love this, and it's beautiful, but it didn't just like blow me away as much as I wanted it to. This shade here is beautiful. I wish there was more shades like this. But I also wish that this shade packed a little bit more punch also, but it's also kind of designed that way. But I love her Astral Blitz shades, so I'm glad she has some of those in here so that everybody can experience that formula, because not everybody's going to pay $125 for her palettes. I'm not one of those people to do that, although I did pay full price for this one. I said a lot, but this palette looks very similar to the second palette, or I should say the second palette looks very similar to this one. There's a blue shade in the second one. There is this kind of shade in the second one. There is probably more so this shade, or this one of these two, probably more so this one in the second. There's even a shade like this in there. I mean, like, there's so many, like 5 out of these 6 shades I feel like you could get in the second palette. There's a gold in the new palette, but I mean, like, I'm not gonna just purchase it for the gold. So yeah, I just decided it looked too similar, so I just left it alone. So I did not purchase the second round of the Bridgerton collab from Pat McGrath, as much as I love Pat McGrath. And even though the packaging I feel like is a little bit more cheap, I think that they have to give something on a collab because they've got to make the money from it. But I think that they have to give somewhere, and the packaging is where they gave on that one. And so the packaging is not as great, but it's still her formula, so that's what you're paying for. And it's beautiful, but it's just, I don't need 2 of the same just because it says Bridgerton. So that's why I passed on that one. Number 9 is the Dominique Cosmetics The Moment palette. I love this palette. So when I first saw it, it was like a blue packaging on the outside, and I was like, oh, that's a blue palette. I don't need a blue palette. But then I saw the inside, and it had more neutral tones and just like a pop of blue. And I was like, oh, I like that a lot. And so I was like, yes, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna wait for it to come out, and I'm gonna get it. And then I thought about it a moment, and I was like, I have those shades in my collection. If I really stop and think about it, I have just about every shade in that palette in my collection. That one shade in there called Mesmerize, really, like, I think that's a beautiful shade, and maybe a little bit unique, but still I could probably find something to dupe it with. But I love her formula, and I think they're so good, but I didn't need another neutral palette with a pop of blue. I've got the Urban Decay Naked Wild West, so didn't need that. And I just said no. I just said no. And I'm glad that I did. Again, I don't need another eyeshadow palette. I have too many. But it's so easy to get sucked in and just be like, yes, I need it. Please give it to me. It's so easy to do, and I do it so often, and I've been really trying to just stop and think and take a break and say, do I really need that? And I'm proud of myself for doing that, because I'm practicing self-control where I didn't in the past, and that's big for me. So I'm proud of myself for that. And finally, number 10, it just so happens it worked out this way. I didn't really plan it, but this is kind of how it works. So Number 10, I almost purchased the Gila palette from Odenza Cosmetics and Angela Nikovist, however you say it. I'm sorry. She, like I said, I watched her. She was coming out with this palette, and when she came out with it and it was green, I just about went crazy. I was like, oh my goodness, I think I need that. Really, I need it in my life. And you're gonna, I mean, honestly, I think that that's a running pattern in this video, that because it was green, I thought I needed it. So I saw it and just flipped out for it, and I was like, it's a green palette, I need it in my life. And I'm not trying odenza, but I've heard such great things about odenza, and I've wanted to try it, and so I was like, oh, now's a great time. Now's a good time to do that. And then I really stopped and I looked at the palette, and I was like, there's some beautiful greens in there, but there's also very colorful shades in there. So there's like some really bright pops of pink. There's some bright yellow. There's like some bright green in there. Like, are you really going to use this the way it needs to be used? Like, are you really going to give it its full potential? And I just had to look at it because I'm more about a grungy green. Like, I like a grungy looking green. That's kind of my favorite. And when I look at this palette, as beautiful as it is, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I still look at it and think, I probably need that in my life. But I'm looking and I'm like, do I need it? Do I need it? And the answer is no, I don't. I don't need it. I don't, like I said, I don't need any of it, but that is just one that I would probably use one time for a video, and then I probably would only use it for maybe like one green shade or two green shades out of there, and that would be it. And that's just not fair to a palette. I don't want to hurt its feelings, just kidding. But I would need to do a little bit better on a palette to really do that. It wasn't cheap by any means. Doesn't mean that it was astronomically expensive, but it just wasn't cheap. And so I was like, there's no reason for me to purchase this palette when I'm not going to do it justice and give it, you know, the life that it deserves. So I just decided not to do it. So as beautiful as it is, I just had to say no, but it is very gorgeous. And I came so close, so very close to getting this. And I just had to say no, but you live, you learn, you know. There's like a ton more that I could put in here, but I'm just not going to. But a little bit of an honorable mention was the Heather Austin and Adept Cosmetics collab. I don't watch her a ton on YouTube, but I have seen some of her videos, and I saw that she was coming out with this palette, and I was like, oh, that's so pretty. And I think it was like 50 some dollars, almost $60. I can't remember the exact price on it, but it was a very expensive palette. And so I truly thought about getting it, and I just really had to take a step back and say, I don't need it. So I didn't get it. As beautiful as it was, as gorgeous as it looked on everyone that I saw use it, I just didn't need it. There was a green shade in there and kind of like a grungy yellowy green gold. I could have done a lot with it, I'm sure, but I didn't need it. I didn't need it, so I just said no. I said, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna put my foot down on myself and say no, and I did. And so I'm very glad that I did that, and I exercised some self-control. So proud of myself. Another palette that didn't go to waste. So yeah, if you guys like this video, if you like the concept of the video, let me know. Maybe we can do something about other things, you know, 10 more items I didn't purchase that I was going to recently or something. I don't know, but if it's something that you are enjoying or interested in, let me know. I like feedback. I like to know. And even if you don't like it, that's okay too, but just let me know. I don't want to put out stuff that you don't want to watch, and I'm just trying to diversify a little bit and do something a little different. I'm not changing everything that I do. I'm just doing a little bit of a different thing because I want you to have content to watch, but I also want you to have something just not the same kind of videos every single day, you know? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to diversify a bit. So if you like it, let me know. If you don't, let me know. I just want to be able to give you something that is fun to watch, because obviously I can't meet everybody's needs, but I will do my best to meet the majority. So thank you guys so very much for watching. I appreciate you so much. I hope you are having a great day and you're staying safe, happy, and healthy. And if there's any palettes in the recent anytime that you were going to purchase and then you talked yourself out of, let me know, because maybe it was something that I also did and then I forgot about, because that can happen. I'm a very forgetful person, if you didn't know that about me. So yeah, just let me know what you think. So thank you so much. Have a great day, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.